Do not be afraid, guys. Do not be afraid. I understand that we are down minus 0.88% right now in red after being up like 2% today. And you can see up here there is a 50 moving average up here at the top that we are getting rejected from. So everybody is saying, of course, pump and dump, scam pump, you know, bull trap, whatever, right? But I'm gonna show you one thing. Only one thing, entire video, this entire video is only one thing. I'm going to show you one thing so you can understand that we are actually majorly bullish. And I won't go into the super moods or anything like that, you know, crazy stuff. You know, it's just pure technical analysis, pure patterns, and you will see. Once you see it, you'll be like, of course it's going to go this way, but the bull is coming. We are going higher and higher. You cannot, before we start that, you cannot be one of those bears that every single time, you know, price goes down a little bit, you know, and people are calling for 10K again, 25, 20K, 15K, 10K, 3K, like, you know, certain people. You cannot be like that. And every time it goes up, like suddenly, we're going to 100K this year. It's not going to happen. 100K this year is not going to happen. But we know that it's going to go up. So let me show you one thing, only one thing on the chart that's so bullish that once you see it, you'll be immediately like, oh man, look at that. So where are we gonna start? First, we're gonna remove the moving average so you can see this a little bit better. Now, it is important to understand that, you know, sometimes, you know, different perspective can give you a little bit different view on the chart. So over here, when you're looking at this, I mean, we already understand that, you know, we haven't broken certain levels of resistance up here. You know, people are drawing this thing like this over here. They are looking at, you know, resistance level. There is a resistance level over here that's not broken. Let me just change this into yellow line up here. It's not broken over here. There is a resistance level over here that we technically broke, but right now we are pulling back from that. There is a 50 moving average on the chart that you know, didn't break. Yes, we wicked above that, but we didn't break. So of course there is a lot of bearishness on you know, out there. But let me show you something. Let me show you just one thing on the chart. And for that, like we said, we need to change perspective. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna invert the chart, and this often helps because, you know, suddenly you see things a little bit differently, you know, because oftentimes we look at the charts you know, the same way over and over again, and your mind goes like blank, like you cannot get any kind of new idea. So sometimes it does help to invert the chart and look at it from a different perspective so you can see what's actually happening. Now, what actually happening up here, it might be a channel, of course. Over here, you know, you can just say that this entire thing is some kind of channel. But there is a pattern up here that's actually happening, and what we are having right now is a retest on that pattern. And the pattern I'm talking about is a rising wedge. Now, it is very clear to anybody looking at, you know, charts day in and day out that this over here is a very clear, you know, rising wedge. So if we had any kind of, you know, interesting pattern like this, you know, on a normal chart, everybody would see some kind of, you know, big move down with a rising wedge up here towards the upside. Of course, it's gonna, you know, drop on the downside. Of course, it's gonna drop on the downside. I mean, that's what everybody are looking at. Now, it is important to, you know, make these lines a little bit nicer, because oftentimes people will see these wicks on the downside and they will say like, yeah, but the line goes something like this over here, like we just showed. Yeah, it goes something like this over here. It's not actually a rising wedge and blah 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 whatnot. And I'm gonna tell you that this is actually bull, because we know how to do TA, and this candle over here, or this red candle over there, that's a engulfing bearish candle. So if you look at us over here, what you're gonna see over here on the chart, and this is purely TA fans club secret, nobody knows about this, you won't hear about this on any other channel. When you have this kind of you know, bearish engulfing candle towards the downside or upside, right, bullish engulfing candle, these candles are often indicating that something happened that should not have happened. So we had a huge amount of bullishness down here. Technically we went down, we had a huge amount of bullishness where we just exploded towards the upside, but you know, the manipulator was like, you know what, this is not happening just yet, pull it back down, and then pull it back down below the support level, right? So this over here is a bearish engulfing candle. Now, these bearish engulfing candles should not be included in the lines. Sometimes they can, but you know, most often they are not included when we are drawing lines. So when you are looking at this over here, something like this over here, we can draw it either, you know, over here, or we can draw it all the way up here. I think this is more correct a line up here, because it does get a lot of respect on this line over here. There are a couple of breakdowns over here, but it does, and this also a bullish engulfing candle, but it does get a very nice hits, especially here at towards the very end up here. So this looks very nice. Also, the top up here is not really important, but it goes something like this over here, and as you can see up here, there is some kind of rising wedge on the chart. You can also, I mean, it doesn't matter how you pull. It doesn't matter how you pull, because the last part up here on the chart just before it broke towards the upside. This is the most important part. So, you know, whether it goes something like this or a little bit up here, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What does matter that it did break towards the downside up here. Not only that, we had a low up here and we have a lower low. Now, it is inverted chart, so we are having high and higher high on the chart. High and higher high on the chart, which is a very bullish. So what is happening over here right now, if you pop the moving averages, you'll see very nicely that we went up here towards the upside in this rising wedge. We try to go, you know, try to go down. This is down technically, right? Try to go down, then inversed, and it was like not yet, and we climbed up here again, came a couple of more touches up here towards the upside, towards this line, and then went down to the moving averages, broke that, hit this 50 moving average. Of course, the bears are fighting to keep this level because they want to reverse it towards the other side, but we are getting a major right now resistance level at 20 moving average and 10 moving average over here. And as long as these levels hold, we are very good. Now, it is not over yet, because this can of course pull pull above the moving averages. It can retest the line up here somewhere, or it can even go as far up here as something like, you know, again 28.5 before it actually reverses. But at one point this rejection needs to happen, either here or all the way up here at the top. All of these three levels are major levels that needs to be held. Now, if we hold this level over here and just go towards the other side, super bullish, extremely bullish, very nice. The second level up here, not so bullish, because, you know, you broke, you failed to hold this line up here, you know, and then it can still go, you know, it can still go upside, technically towards the downside while it's inverted, but it's not as bullish. We want to hold this level up here. We want to hold this resistance level or support level, however you want to call it, and, you know, bounce off of this towards the downside. If you go all the way up here, not as bullish, but it's still very good. All the way up here, also not as bullish, because, you know, you are breaking support, and but yeah, as long as we can actually bounce off any of these three levels, and these three levels are right now at something like, you know, 29.3. This one up here should be around 29 and 28.9, and all the way up here at top is 28.4. So any of these three levels, bouncing off these three levels, should be good for us, you know, to continue this move towards the upside. Towards the upside, right? Towards the upside. But it's easier to see it like this. Once you change the perspective, it's easier to see what's happening right now. Right now we are getting only this, you know, retest up here. And as long as the retest holds, like we said, any of these levels, as long as it holds, this still goes towards the upside. We are majorly bullish. We are majorly bullish on Bitcoin. And this is just a pullback. Yes, everybody got, you know, too quick, too fast, too much bullish. Of course, it's gonna be pullback, but I call this a scam pullback. You know, dips are for buying, not financial advice and all of that, but, you know, it had to happen. And as long as we can hold these levels and we don't break below these levels, I think we're good. So don't be afraid. Don't be like everybody else. Believe in something. There are also moons, but we don't want to talk about moons. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.